Hello again, and welcome from the Maniac Guy up here in the beautiful state of Maine once again. It's an awesome summer day. Nice to have you along to come on and sit at the picnic table and talk about a new piece of kit that I've got here. So what I'm going to talk to you about is the SeeAll sight. I just picked this up, and to be honest with you, I've been in the shooting world for a long time now, and I've been in the tactical shooting community for maybe a little bit more than a long time. And I had never heard of the SeeAll sight system until literally a few weeks ago. So I don't know if I've been living in the closet or what, but I haven't heard of these. So pretty excited about it. And coming up soon in a video that I'm going to be putting out is going to be a video on the high point. I finally, I bit the bullet, pardon the pun, and got into a high point 9mm carbine. So I'll be putting some videos on that. And I know there's a lot of mixed reviews on those, but anyway, another video. So what I've got here is the SeeAll sight that I will be putting on the high point, and I'm kind of excited about it because this is a really neat concept. Simple, awesome, in its simplicity. So let's kind of get into this thing here. These come in two different configurations. So we got the packaging here. My own focus. All right, cool. Kind of a, as I say, just a neat sighting concept. So this is the actual sight itself, and as I say, it's a SeeAll sight from the SeeAll sight brand, and this is what they call edge glow technology, and it's actually well, it's fiber optic, but to be honest with you, it's not a whole lot different from those rulers. I should have brought one out with me, but I wasn't really thinking, I guess. I've actually got a ruler. They were real big. I kind of date myself here. When I was a kid in school in the 90s, when I was a teenager, and they actually, these rulers were a pretty big deal back then, with the kind of fiber optic kind of look. They would glow along the edge. Well, that's what this is. It's that material, really resilient. I've seen plenty of torture tests. I'm not intending on torture testing this guy here, because it's not that kind of video, and this isn't really that kind of channel. But these are reported to be in talks with the Department of Defense for a possible contract to get these in the military service. And I can see why, because a lot of the tests that you can pull up online, these things have been tested in everything from boiling water to freezing water to drop tested, and they just seem to work. And so basically the concept behind this sight is you got a magnifier here, kind of a really thick, I don't know what the material is, but a really thick magnifying kind of glass here. And then on your edge glow over here, you actually have two different kinds of sight. You've got a delta sight, or you can go with a crosshair. This is the Gen 1, by the way, which I'll get into that in a second. Mounts to any standard Picatinny rail, just as it is, or there's several, any risers or anything like that that you want to mount it on. It's Picatinny adaptable. They also sell one for the Glocks, for you Glock guys, or SIGs or any handguns. These are compared a lot to the Trijicon RMR sight, and actually these guys lots of times will score dead even, if not over, the RMR. Price point on this, by the way, because it's a Gen 1, is $49.95 for the Delta sight, and for the crosshair sight, it's I think around 90 something. The Gen 2s, which the only difference is there's a few differences. They're lower profile, so they're not quite as blocky as this guy, which that doesn't bother me at all. And they actually have tritium, like we talked about with the Luminox watches. So they actually have tritium in the Gen 2s, so that they have light visibility at night as well, which is the only drawback of this. Is in the dead of night, you're not going to have a whole lot of visibility with the sight. No different than iron sights at that point. So anyway, inlaid into the edge of this light glow technology over here, of this fiber optic, this one has a small triangle, and we're actually going to insert a picture of what that looks like that I snapped the other day, and we're going to insert that right here. So as you can see, it's a very visible triangle that occurs when you look through this, and it's pretty simple. You put the triangle on what you want to shoot. When you're firing your weapon, you line up the target with the top of the triangle, and you let her go, and that puts you on target. Just that simple. Again, it's kind of awesome in its simplicity. So yeah, very, very visible, as you can see in the picture, during the day, any daylight. I've tried it in the evening hours outside, and as long as there's any ambient light, you're good to go. And the only time when there would be a disadvantage to not have the tritium and just to have this one would be literally in like a home intrusion kind of situation, or if you're shooting in a room or doing CQB, close quarters battle, or something like that, room clearing. But they've answered that with the newer tritium sights, which are right around $200. So there's a significant price difference between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. But anyway, I didn't want to take too much time. I just wanted to share this new piece of kit with you guys. I will be mounting it to my high point 9mm carbine and running this thing through its paces, and I'll let you guys know what I think, and I'll let you guys know in its application and its execution how it does. So yeah, the SeeAll Delta sight. And again, this is not to be confused with a scope or with an optic, because it's not. It doesn't magnify. It's just basically a more advanced version of, if you can picture, just put it in the same category as your iron sights. It just helps you get on target quicker. It's more visible. So it is a sight, not a scope or an optic. But yeah, the SeeAll open sight system, and this is the Delta. So alrighty, again, from the Maniac Guy up here from Maine. Have a good one. Until next time, hope to see you then. Take care, guys.